Sure, that's good. What is up, people? This is episode 5 of the Oscar G podcast. I'm coming to you a little earlier. I think I've been getting up a little earlier lately. Starting all this stuff. Just kind of getting into a better schedule. And today's sponsor is these nuts, boy, because I ain't got none. I got like 9 people. 9 views, which is the highest view on like the first episode. So yeah, I ain't got no goddamn sponsors. What you think this is? What is this? Is the Bill and Burt podcast, boy. Sorry, trying to get a little more comfortable. Yeah, what you think this is? This ain't shit, boy. It's just some fat dude talking about whatever the fuck you can think of. Anyways, hope y'all doing alright. It's Tuesday, the day before hump day. Get your legs ready, boy. Because it's almost time. It's almost time for that goddamn Christmas. If you're waiting for presents, good luck. If you're trying to get presents, good luck. It's the same amount of stress for all of y'all. I actually didn't get to see my family Thanksgiving because they thought they had COVID and shit like that, and they were feeling pretty sick, so had to stay home, do my thing, you know what I'm saying? Some bullshit though. I actually, the plan for me was to work that day on Thanksgiving, and then at the end of the day, go to Golden Corral and just get high as fuck and just fuck it up, man. Make them really lose some fucking money. I was gonna make them go broke that day. Turns out Google Maps had the wrong time. It closed at 8. I thought it was at 9. I got there at 8:01. So I had to settle for TGI Fridays, which, you know, felt like shit. I think that I was okay with, you know, one out of the rest of my life. All my Thanksgivings not being with family, it's okay. It's a little tough sometimes, but it is what it is. But fuck, man, I think it broke my heart more that Golden Corral lied to me. Google lied to me, you know? It hurt. It hurt. Even now, I still feel a little heavy in my heart. I didn't get to eat that pot roast, boy. Their steaks are okay. They're not bad. But that pot roast, oh, Lord Jesus. I could eat that shit all day. In fact, I just went to Golden Corral today. That shit was fucking good, man. I mean, it depends on what you get, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, if you go to a buffet, you get the pizza, you're asking for diarrhea, you know? You're asking for stomach problems, fucking corona, something. You just want to fucking die. You know what I'm saying? You got no respect for, whatever. I don't know. Came in strong, gonna keep it going. Anyways, yeah. Oh, man. Don't got much to talk about. Yesterday I was actually going to stream. I actually ended up getting too high, and I was playing, and I thought I had started the stream, but in reality I just went to go get a drink. And yeah, I didn't stream yesterday, which really sucks, because yesterday I was like 46-8, you know what I'm saying, 30-5, just doing crazy numbers, you know, on my KD and playing game modes and just clapping all over the place. And I was a lot more quiet. I think when I get high, I have to find the right balance. When it comes to talking, I think I can get as high as I want to. I just might forget some shit. But when it comes to gaming, there's a fine line between you're going to hear me talking and I'm going to be quiet, but I'm going to be decimating the whole lobby. And so I got to find that balance. Hopefully I can figure that shit out. Shit. Hope y'all doing good. For those of you that are watching the podcast, let me know if you got live questions, if you got anything, questions about it. I don't give a fuck. Just ask me some questions. I'll try to write them down or I'll keep them somewhere. and I'll answer your questions for the 4 or 5 people that are watching my shit. That'll really help me out. Doesn't matter how ridiculous the question is. If you got questions about me, about life, I don't know everything about life, but you know, it seems people like getting advice from people that like sitting in front of cameras. So, you know, I'm the one to do it. Um, fuck. Feels a little weird still doing this outside. Um, I'm not sure. I actually don't rewatch these, so I mean the mic they cut out halfway. I don't fucking know. You know what I'm saying? Um, I think it's better to do it that way. If not, you kind of you start listening to your own voice. You start thinking about, oh, I've said this way too many times, shit like that, and it just doesn't flow. You know, at least for me, I get very self conscious about certain things. I'm in a weird way perfectionist, right? In a weird way, when it comes to this stuff, yeah. So I'd rather just leave it how it is and just people tell me here and there, hey, you know, I like the podcast, whatever it is. Um, what can we talk about today? So I've told you about a little bit of my middle school, high school years. Um, After I graduated, I did do a lot of odd jobs. Maybe not odd, too odd, but very different jobs. Um, I, man, I said a lot in the last episode, and I don't remember what I said. But my first job was a welding job. Let's just start with that, right? I think last episode I talked about I was in welding class and I skipped and all that shit. So my first job was actually welding, and yeah, actually I remember talking about this. Yeah, so I don't have to repeat it. That was my first job, welding. After that, I said fuck that place, fuck them over, and went to. I think the next job I got was at a. I don't know how fucking liable I am for this shit. So I worked for a soda company, right? It's got red and white. It rhymes with mola, right? Whatever. If you can't figure it out, I don't know what to tell you. Um, but yeah, I worked there, and it was oh man, I got so used to having music to listen to and having some kind of entertainment that it was really rough for me when I started working there because there were 12-hour shifts, and you were just standing in a line watching the the bottles fucking go right through, and I mean it was almost like you were in a trance, man, and you were stuck there for 12 hours just you got lunch and shit like that, of course, but it's like, what is it, maybe 40, 50 minutes that maybe out of 12 hours that you really get to kind of just look at your phone and it got to a point to where, the whole time I was just watching these bottles, I started dreaming about it. I didn't know if I was at work or if I was sleeping, what the fuck I was doing, you know what I'm saying? So that was a nice job. I didn't like it. It was maybe for like a week or two. After that, uh, I went to Patterson, which I think I've talked about before, and it was a really cool spot at that time. We definitely had it was really difficult. I'm seeing it right now that the camera's a little crooked to me. Maybe I'm just fucking blind, but I'm gonna fix it. Let me see. Yeah. All right. Nah, this don't feel right. I don't even think it moved. Oh, yeah, it looks better. Fuck it. I don't know. So, anyways, yeah, that was my third job. It wasn't bad, man. I really liked it. It was difficult for me at first because I wasn't used to grabbing just 40-pound bags and throwing them. And I think I talked about this too. Um, but it wasn't a bad job. It paid decent. I could listen to music. They were pretty cool overall. And then I gotta say, man, like After Patterson, I think something happened. It was a very niche thing, and sorry, I just saw something flash the screen. I'm not sure what the fuck it was. It's still recording, so fuck it. Yeah, it was rough, man. I mean, I didn't. Um, After that, that's when I worked at that shitty spot, Nipco, and I was going to school at the time. After that, I went back to Patterson. That's where I worked. So I think I've talked about all this. I can't remember what I talked about. I'm not gonna lie. I was pretty fucking high the last episode. So I'm trying to kind of remember what I was talking about and see if I can pick up where I left off. I did a few jobs here and there that were maybe like 2 or 3 day jobs. The worst one was it was a factory that made plywood. You know, where they get those chips of wood and they just fuse them together with a shit ton of glue and pressure. And, you know, you get nothing but fucking splinters in that bitch. So there were these machines that I guess took out the moisture or the sap, I guess, of the fucking uh, chips. I don't know. I don't know what the fuck it was, flakes, whatever the fuck you call it. And so that once a month, this company hired a fuck ton of people to practically clean the entire factory for them, while most of the employees just got those few days off. And if you work well enough and they happen to have a spot open, somebody quit, whatever, they fire somebody, they'd consider having one of the guys that was cleaning for two days to work there. And I mean, they had great benefits and they had really good. They paid very well, especially for a small town. I think it was like 17, 18, somewhere around there. Which I mean, even for standards of Austin, it's not bad. Um, I wouldn't mind working that. You know what I'm saying? Uh, but yeah, it was just. I remember I had a spray with a fucking nozzle, and I was in a fucking little big old yellow suit. You know, it covered my whole body, and just spraying this fucking hot ass sap with this hot ass water all over the fucking thing, and the sap would sometimes come and it would hit me in the hair and hit me in the forehead, and I got in my glasses and I couldn't wipe it off because it's tree sap. Once it lands on something, most of the time it's just gonna fucking stay there for a good while. I mean, it was ass, man, and it was like a good 6, 7 feet up, 6, 7 stories up in the air, and the few guys that had been working there since the morning, um, they said like, hey, this is sorry, I'm getting fucking distracted. Yeah, they just said like, hey, like this is fucking difficult as shit. Um, and you pretty much got the worst of it. It was the hottest part was the tip and the top, and that's where the fuck I was. And I just remember I was there like at 4 in the morning, and my first break, I was just sitting on the railing on some fucking spot in the railing. And I just sat there, man, and I had the yellow hazmat suit looking thing off, and I was trying to clean my glasses, and I remember just looking out into the sunrise, and just thinking to myself like, this ain't for me, man. Like, is this my life? Like, is this all I gotta do? Like, it was the beginning, definitely. It was the beginning stages of, do I really want to work for the rest of my life, or do I want to work a 9 to 5 for the rest of my life? Is there something else to this shit other than just working a fucking job, whether it was office or not, or labor, whatever it is? Is that all there is to life? And that really fucked me up for a while. I remember, I think my from 18 to maybe 21, 22, it was very hard for me to cope with that reality that there's no more 2 month vacations anymore. There's, you know, there's no wig for me because I'm an adult now. There's a lot of things that just happen to just go away. and you're kind of thrown into this the real world, and it sucks ass that you're not prepared for it. You're not ready for anything like this. Whatever they teach you in school, it in no way helps with learning about real life. Some people adapt better than others. Some people don't get that reality check until they're about 21, 22, maybe 23, because of, they went right after high school to college or university, whatever they did. They continue their education, and that was, they don't get that shock until way later. I got that shock right at 18, and it was unexpected, honestly. It was very unexpected. But, I think with time, you kind of, it I don't know if you get like accustomed or anything like that. You just kind of be like, all right, well, this is life. I can make the best of it, and why not work and do what I want to do? Something I love, and it took me a long time to figure out that it was kind of this, just content creating, whether it's me streaming, me doing this podcast, or me doing comedy. Which, as much as I say that shit, I haven't been doing it. I've been kind of hitting a rough patch financially, so I'm kind of working longer hours than I want to, and I'm working weird hours because there's a few things going on. All right, there's a few things going on that aren't really letting give me the free time that I wish I had. But hopefully by the end of this week, I can kind of figure it out, and the thing that's been kind of holding me back finally gets sorted out, and then I can get back to making money. I can get back to doing comedy aside from these three things. Um, I just hope that I have the mental energy for it. Because this shit is rough, man. Sometimes I get off. I think that when I did the hour podcast, I mean, that one really wore me out. And I wasn't streaming as well. So I think 30 minutes is a good spot for me. Where was I? Yeah, existential crisis, right? So, anyways, yeah, man, it was rough for me. There wasn't really any warning for me, but good thing that what ended up happening for me is that I found all these podcasts, and I started kind of listening, and I never. It was the first time I really got to see a perspective other than my parents, another adult perspective other than my parents. Of course, you talk to coworkers and shit like that, but like really hearing the crazy shit that they went through, and not even that, just seeing all these interesting things or different viewpoints. I went through a big Jordan Peterson rabbit hole for a while. If you haven't watched them, I recommend them, especially if you're a guy. I'm pretty sure there's other role models that are for women. I'm not saying that Jordan Peterson isn't for women. I'm just saying he's a guy. It's easier for him to kind of give advice to guys, I guess. Right? The same way a woman will have the best advice for a woman. 9 times out of 10, right? You never know. There's always that one guy. There's always that one girl. Um, but yeah, he's definitely good at listening to and kind of helping you sort out your fucking young adult angst that you fucking got. That some people have, and I'm pretty sure not everybody does. But he's a good guy to listen to, and honestly, Joe Rogan, you know, and all the guests that he has, and Joey Diaz, and I know I'm always talking about him like every fucking episode, but honestly, they're a big influence, and they're kind of the reason I'm here, man. Like in the city, and doing all these things, and even creating content. I honestly thought that this type of shit, like, you had to be like born with it, right? You had to like somebody. It just seems so inconceivable to me that you could just pick up a camera, record, and put it out there on the world. It was so inconceivable to me, and I was like, I got my own issues, and I'm like, who the fuck wants to hear me talk? And but these guys, they give you kind of they give you a comforting they give you a comforting feeling that even if you go through hardships and shit like that, if you go through tough times, you know, eventually you'll get past them. And that's kind of that's kind of the only thing that kind of kept me going for a while. Um, After high school, I was drinking a lot, especially after I hit 21. I was just getting fucked up left and right. I mean, I was ripping off shirts at a fucking party, right? I threw up all over my girlfriend's car while her mom was in the passenger seat, right? Like, I did a lot of fucked up shit, man. Oh, I'm surprised I still have a girlfriend, cause I put her through a lot of shit. Um, you know, I did a lot of fucked up shit when I was around that age. I was just kind of lost, man, trying to figure myself out. And fortunately, things kind of worked out for me. Um, I started smoking weed at 21, and honestly, that suited me way better than alcohol ever did. Because alcohol just brought out that wild side that, you know what I'm saying, you don't know what the fuck he's gonna do type shit. And as fun as it is, it's very destructive, especially once you start getting into your 20s. You don't start figuring out, hey, maybe it's not a good idea that, I pick a fight every time I drink, and I drink every fucking day. You know what I'm saying? Or that last time there was a shootout at a party, so, you know, maybe I should stop hanging around these fucking people. Like, some people don't have that self realization, and they just keep doing their thing until one day it's either too late or they're so far in that it's very hard for them to make a change. Luckily for me, I took to weed very well. Um, Very easy for me to kind of transition over, and I preferred it a lot more. If you get drunk as fuck, you could black out, and who the fuck knows what you do. You know what I'm saying? Or you can get high as fuck, black out, and wake up the same spot you were sitting at. It's very rare that you ever black out and just start doing random shit while you're high. You just most of the time you just fucking pass out. You know what I'm saying? You eat some pizza or whatever it is. You get scared by the fucking ice maker in the fridge, whatever it is. It was a lot better for me. Plus, my drinking days, I've been drinking since I was like 13, 12, 13. So it was like, I was kind of over it by the time. I had been drinking for, what is that, 8 years, where I was drinking pretty heavy. And so by the time I hit 21, it was like, well, fuck, I already did all this partying and chugging and doing the fucking funnel thing and whatever the fuck. I did all that shit. It just didn't interest me at that point anymore. And, I mean, I think that's why people just move on to coke. Because, like, it's just, eventually you just kind of get bored with the same shit. Luckily, I enjoy weed to the point to where I don't mind doing it. Every time I smoke, I always feel good. So I don't feel like I have to go into something stronger. Of course, I'm willing to do. I haven't tried them yet, but I really want to. Sorry if I keep looking that way. I keep seeing cars passing by and shit. Um, yeah, man, I want to do mushrooms. I did acid a few times. That was fun. Towards the end, I had a bad trip, but it is what it is, right? Um, yeah, man, I want to really explore that side of hallucinogenics, I guess in general, and edibles, things like that. Yeah, that's kind of what I want to do. Uh, I really enjoy that shit. So, especially now, now that I'm here in the big city, I can probably find things a little easier. Just gotta ask the right people. But man, oh yeah. So, anyways, my bad. I keep fucking going from topic to topic. So yeah, man, that was rough for me. But I think smoking weed around being 21. I on my 21st birthday actually went up and did an open mic. I did okay. Um, oh, it's so cringy. I remember my first joke. I got up there and I was wearing actually a Rick and Morty hat and T-shirt with some fucking cargo shorts. I mean, like, what the fuck? Like, even looking back, I was like, what the fuck was I wearing? Like, I'm 21 and wearing this shit. I don't know, man. Listen, I got weird fashion. I don't really give a fuck. I think that's what I'm trying to say. I don't really give a fuck. I wear what's comfortable or what I enjoy, and apparently, I enjoy wearing that shit. So I remember I was like, "Yep, I'm out here sitting down wearing a Rick and Morty." I just kind of talked about my dress, and I was like, so in other words, I'm a virgin, and it was an okay joke, right, for your first time. I got a few chuckles. But then that means I gotta wear a fucking Rick and Morty t-shirt everywhere I go with a cap. And then it just, you know, I can't just base my fucking, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're gonna know me as a Rick and Morty guy, and I don't wanna do that shit. So I had to figure out, definitely what I was hitting hard these past, about 2 weeks ago. I was hitting it very hard, and for me, I realized that it's just more about learning to be natural on stage. So for me, I mean, I just started talking about pretty much what I'm doing now. Just kind of trying to think of stories and trying to kind of naturally get used to being pretty calm and myself on stage, which is very difficult to do. Very difficult to do. There's something about being in front of people. It makes you act a certain way that you're not very conscious of, especially in the beginning. Um, I remember, and it takes time. It takes time for you to kind of get comfortable with people looking at you and you saying certain shit and completely bombing, just trying to say a joke or trying to say something or just, and then it just doesn't land. And at first it was very crushing because you're just used to, I'm not saying I'm the funniest fucking guy in the world, but, when I say something funny, it usually gets a laugh. And to not get a laugh after you thought you said some shit, some good shit, some fire, it hurts. It hurts. But those feelings whenever you just happen to say something off the cuff, you just said something, not really thinking about it, and people just start laughing. It's like it's there, you know what I'm saying, or you just think of something on the spot because you observed something or you something. It's so weird because when you're on stage, you're aware of everything. You're aware of who's paying attention, who's not, and while you're talking, there's part of your brain that's trying to come up with the next thing, trying to come up with the next thing. Meanwhile, you're trying to look at people in the eyes. You're trying to move. You're trying to make sure that you're being a little bit loud. You're being mobile. Am I talking too low? Or do I need to speak louder? And all these things are kind of going in your head, and you're like, adrenaline's rushing. It's so fucking badass, dude. Like, I recommend, even if you don't want to be a comedian, just trying it, especially if you live in the city, just trying it once, and just so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. It's such a weird experience. It's such a weird thing to do, to go up there and just try to make people laugh. And it's a good challenge, and it's a fun challenge for me. But definitely in the beginning, it was really rough. Wasn't used to epic fails like that in such a like raw form, you know. Because if your joke doesn't land, you automatically find out. You automatically find out if your shit doesn't land, and sometimes it's hard for you to recover. I remember one time it took me a long time for me to recover from this one. I got way too high. I drove from where I used to live up to Houston, and it was about a 2-hour drive. I just gotten out of work. It was just kind of like a spur of the moment thing. Me and two other, my brother and a friend of mine came, and we were smoking weed on the way, and just chilling, and I just smoked too much weed. Sometimes you just kind of fuck yourself over, and I remember I just froze, and I got a panic attack while I was up there, and I just remember putting the mic on the thing and just walking off. And before that, okay, so my bad. I gotta say the whole thing. So I get up there, and nothing's coming up. I can't think of shit. Like I start talking about my job and how the supervising lady, she fucking scares me, even though she's 60 years old, whatever the fuck. And it's so quiet that the crowd starts trying to help me. So what would this lady do? And then like, oh my god, like it hurt me so much because I had been studying so much what Joey Diaz was talking about when it came to comedy, with Joe Rogan, Bert, Bill, all those people. So it felt like it's a dumb thing now looking back, but it felt like I was a little bit more ahead than other people because I was learning this stuff from professionals. Of course, that don't mean dick if you're not up there trying doing it, you know. But I was thinking that when I was high, and I remember just panicking, putting the mic up, and just sitting down, and just feeling so defeated, man. And that feeling of defeat and of panic and of fear that took a long time for me to be able to get over. Um, I only got over it like a month ago, to be honest with you. It's been like a year or two since that shit happened, and it was really rough. So every time I would come back up, that panic attack would like come back, you know, with full force. And it took it. I had to get stupid high and get on stage to finally get past that hurdle. So I don't know. More or less, story is don't get too high while you're on stage. Anyways, I'm about to stream. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Tell your friends about me. That's it. See y'all in the next